My name is Jasmine Hembry. I am doing this interview as a representative of Speaking of Research, and today we're speaking with Richard Marble, who is an animal care facility coordinator at Ferris State University. Richard recently wrote a guest post for us titled "It's All About the Animals," in which he gives insight into what it's like being an animal facility manager. And the point of this interview is to kind of take a spin off that, get a little more information on what you do and all the many hats that you wear. So the first question we have is, how are you responsible for animal welfare?
Well, Jasmine, as an animal care facility coordinator, I'm responsible for all activity taking place in regards to the husbandry and the care of the animals housed within the facility. This also includes oversight of facility technicians, their husbandry duties, as well as serving as a member of the ICOOC and advising primary investigators on how to improve animal welfare, both within the facility as well as during studies. It is my responsibility and my passion to make sure that all the animals are cared for well above and beyond the minimal regulations. I take that responsibility very seriously, and I daily seek to improve housing and enrichment, as well as work with the PIs on study design in the interest of animal welfare. Great.
So what improvement have you seen in the animal welfare over the past, say, 15 years that you've been in the field?
Wow. There's been so much improvement since the start of animal research that in the past 15 years, I would say probably some of the biggest things that I've seen take place has been increased concern for things such as adequate cage space to allow species-specific postures and movement, mandates for housing and social species being housed socially as a default rather than the exception. Back in just a few years ago, animals were housed individually for study purposes when they didn't really need to be. And through different research that was done, they found out that that was maybe not the best science, nor in the best interest of the animal. Also, there's been more attention placed on environmental factors in regards to not only the health of the animals, but also how those environmental factors affect the animals within the study.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you think drives these improvements that have been happening?
Well, there are many drivers for these improvements. These things basically change and improve over time based on what we currently are learning. But some of the major drivers are public perception of animal research, internally ALAC accreditation. The animal rights activists have somewhat of a say in that as far as changes. There's changes in legislation that take place every day. But I think the biggest driver is the increased awareness of the people that actually work with the animals, the research and husbandry staff that work in the facilities. They take these issues to heart, and they desire to provide the animals with the best care that can be given to them. So with us being such a passionate group of individuals, we really care about the animals in our charge.
Yeah, I completely agree. So how do you factor the 3 R's into your daily activities? That's kind of a big thing in our field.
Well, in answer to your question, in short, I don't factor them in. The 3 R's, replace, reduce, and refine, are the very foundation on which we operate. Every task or procedure is scrutinized each time it is carried out, and we analyze what we learn from that and see if there's a way we can reduce the number of animals used in a research study, refine the techniques which we utilize to provide better animal welfare in regards to pain management, in regards to suffering. And then also, we are always looking for ways to replace the animal with computer models or other means to gain the same quality or quantity of data needed to satisfy the study taking place. I like a statement or a quote that was on my first supervisor's office door that said, "Animal research is an enigma." It is something that even those of us in the field do not like to do. We do not like utilizing animals for research, but until such time as they no longer become necessary, the passionate people in this field are going to go out of their way to give them the best life they can.
Yeah, that's a great quote. So, how do you think animal welfare will improve in the future, to kind of wrap this up?
Okay. Well, honestly, I feel we've just begun to see improvements in animal welfare. As the dedicated researchers and husbandry staff continue to gain insight into what affects the animal's welfare, we will continue to drive improvements. The very concept of animal welfare was actually developed by and is improved upon daily by the people who work in this field. We are constantly scrutinizing every move we make, looking for ways to provide each animal with better housing environments, provision of more opportunities for species-specific behavior, as well as better socialization and enrichment. And as always, the ever-present desire is to reduce the impact of research on the animals which are in our care. With the increasing amount of data that is being gathered on this subject and shared amongst researchers and husbandry staff, along with the advancements of technology that we've seen recently, I feel we've just begun to scratch the surface of the advancements we're going to see in the future. Being scientists, we improve on and change based on data gathered, and the more data we gather, the more improvements I see in the future of animal research.
Yep, I completely agree. Well, thank you very much. I think your answers are just top-notch. We asked you to do this because we thought that your insights needs to be heard out there. So I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity, and I'll leave you with this. Animal welfare is good science for both the animals and the research.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.